Hey everybody, it's Mr. Raise the Screen Roamer here. Today we're going to be looking at English Language Arts Module 6, Lesson 5, going to one of my favorite states, Nebraska. Yes, Nebraska. Look at it, it's beautiful. Okay, this is in northwestern Nebraska. This is called the Sand Hills. Okay, and that's where we're going today. Okay, let's check out where you're going to be going, right down here. Okay, and today what we're going to learn are some different strategies to determine the meaning of unknown words and phrases. Wow! All that means is you're going to learn how to use prefixes, suffixes, and the base word or root word to determine the meaning of unknown words. That's it. Simple. Okay, second one. Speak and write knowledgeably about a topic using information from several sources. Guys, all that means is you're going to answer a question after reading two texts. That's it. Simple. Okay, and then demonstrative pronouns, we'll cover that later. Unfamiliar words, we're going to hit in about a screen or two. And then the last one, I'm going to make another video for you because that one's going to take a little while. Okay, here we go. Slide number 2. Okay, looking at root words. That's one of our context clues toolbox. Okay, and right here, they've got breaking down words. This is how to say unfamiliar words. Okay, so they have them broken down into syllables. Okay, that's a good technique. But let's get into our main thing for this lesson right here, and that's looking at root words, prefixes, and suffixes. Now, they do give you a neat tool right here. If you go down to course wide, and you go partway down, it says root words and affixes anchor chart. Okay, I've got it right here, and you can see that it has suffixes, so suffixes come at the end of a word. Okay, it also has prefixes. Prefixes come at the beginning, pre-game show, starts before the game or whatever sport you're watching. Okay, and then we also have root words, which are one of my favorites. If you know a root, then you can usually figure out what the word means. Let's take a look at some of the samples that they have here. Okay, they go over one. You can take a look at this for dreadful. But now they've got practice here as well. I'm going to help you break it down. Okay, let's take a look at this. We've got the word spectators. Okay, spectators. The football stadium was full of excited spectators. Now you can probably figure that out already. If somebody's excited, it could be the players. Okay, but it's probably, let's see if we can figure this out. Spect. Let's look at our chart and go down. Boom, 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 boom. Spect, it means to see. To see. So somebody that is seeing or watching the football game, it's you, the person in the audience. So spect means to watch. So you can think about spectacles. Okay, those are just another fancy name for glasses. Okay, and then we've got another one right here, imprint. Okay, Katrina saw an imprint of a shoe in the mud. Okay, so she saw a track in the mud, an imprint. If we look at our root words again right here, im is a prefix. So if I go down here, im's right here, in opposition to. Okay, so that means kind of against or the opposite of. All right, so if we look at this, an imprint of a shoe. Okay, so if your the tread on your shoe has a bump on it for traction, it's going to leave the opposite. It's going to leave a hole in the mud, okay, or an impression in the mud. And then powerful, okay, there is a powerful storm heading towards Nebraska. Right there, full means exactly what it says, full of power, okay. And you can also look things up in the dictionary if you couldn't figure them out using your prefixes, root words, and suffixes. Okay, that's it for that one. We're going to move on and we're going to look at answering questions from different texts. Actually, it's the next slide. But here you can see an imprint, okay, of a shoe. And then, whoa, hold it. Look at this. Imprint. Okay, so this is a fossil, and that is from Nebraska. Okay, this is from Agate Fossil Beds. It's up in the northwest corner. I've been there. Very, very cool place. And this is from the Eocene period. It's 35 million years ago. So this fish was actually there because Nebraska used to be underwater. It was an inland sea. Okay, and they're going to be going over some inferences right here. So inferences mean you take the information from the text, you apply what you already know, and you come up with an inference or some way to explain it in your own words. Okay, and that's what we're going to be working on. Okay, now here's the slide where you're going to be looking at solving a problem, a question, using multiple texts. Okay, here's our question. How did the development of farming change the nomadic lifestyle many people once lived? Okay, what? Okay, so how did farming change nomadic lifestyle? Nomadic, if you remember from our social studies, if you're a nomad, okay, you move from place to place. Okay, think of on the plains right here, there were Indians that hunted buffalo, okay, and they would have teepees, and then they'd follow the buffalo, and they'd pack up their whole village, and then they'd move with the buffalo. How did that change once people started to farm? So no more moving around. Now they're going to stay in place, I think. Okay. We've got two articles right here. The history of farming, and the second one right here, seed experimentation. Okay. So you're going to be looking and finding details to answer your question. Okay, let me go ahead and show you. I did this already for you, so I'm going to kind of go backtrack, dissect it for you. Okay, so here's our question right here. How did the development of farming change the nomadic lifestyle many people once lived? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the text and I'm going to find ways that their lifestyle changed. Okay, I'm going to find the overall main reason within right here, farmers feed cities. Okay, and what I discovered is that hey, they learned to plant crops. That's the big thing that came across in that text. And then experimenting with crops. Now farmers experimented with seeds, which led them to using the best varieties. So hey, they found these seeds work better than the other ones, and over years they got better and better and better seeds. Okay, then I found details within the text right here to support this reason. Now the only thing I'm going to focus on is how they learned to plant crops. Okay, so I found that 11,500 years ago people learned to grow cereal and root crops. Okay, so like wheat and things like that. And then people no longer had to search for food. Since they had crops, it's kind of like, hey, I got a grocery store right here. Why do I have to move? So they no longer had to search for food, excuse me. Now, I didn't just make that up out of my head. I found it in the text. Okay, and then in the second story, I found the main thing from there was that the farmers experimented with seeds, which led them to using best varieties. Okay, and then I just found one detail. Okay, they began to grow successful crops year after year. It wasn't like they put something in the ground and, oh, it didn't come up this year, we're dead. Okay, they got to be very good at it, and then they made crops every year, or they were able to grow food every year. And then at the end, I've got my conclusion, which relates very closely to this up here. Now, there's one thing that I did forget, is that in my topic sentence, I've got learn to plant crops. Look at this right there. Learn to plant crops. Successful year after year. Oh, look at this right here. Oh, I got to go back and switch that. I got to go and change these two around. Okay, so I apologize about that. Even teachers make mistakes. Okay, so here's where I got my information from, guys. This is the first one. Okay, the history of farmers feed cities. And you can see that I pulled information out from right there. Okay, that's what I want you to do as well. And then right here, I did the exact same thing on, let me see here. Okay, seed experimentation. Okay, and here's where they developed seed types and then successful crops year after year. Okay, let me go back to my lesson. Now, what I did is after I took all of this, okay, I took the green, and that forms my topic sentence. The yellow forms my first reason, and I put a transition word in there. Okay, this looks very familiar, doesn't it? Okay, my power paragraph. Okay, and the red fills in and it supports this reason. Now my red came from the text. Okay, the yellow is from the second text, and I have another transition word similarly. Okay, in the text, experiments with crops. Now just please note one thing. In the first one, I did say that I got it from Farmers Feed Cities. Okay, in the second one, I did say that experiments with crops. Okay, so I'm giving the name of the text. And then I went ahead, so I had my yellow here, and now I have my red here, boom. And then I go ahead and I do my conclusion sentence. Now what I've supplied for you guys is this right here, is that, let me go to the next slide. I want to make sure I'm still going here. Am I still recording? I am recording. Good. Looks like my device disappeared there, guys. Sorry. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And what they're doing right here is feeding your response. And all we did was break it down exactly like the sandwich. You have your topic sentence, which is your green. Okay, we got our supporting detail, which is the yellow. And then we've got your more details, okay, which are your red. So this is kind of combined here, and then you have your closing sentence right there. They've got it just supporting details, supporting. I go reason, details, reason, details. Basically the same. Okay, on your next slide right here, they've got two different texts for you. Okay, and then they also have a question for you on the next page. Okay. I don't know why they put the questions on the next page. So you're going to look at the questions first, guys. I don't know why they did that. Okay, you've got three different questions right here. Okay, why is Agate Fossil Beds National Park unique? Okay, why do fossils need to be carefully excavated or taken out of the ground? And what techniques and tools are used to excavate fossils? Okay, now these are three questions that they have for you. Okay. It says that you should select one of these three. Okay, I would suggest that you try to do all three. You don't have to turn them in, guys. Okay, but honestly, I looked at your quiz. Your quiz is going to ask you to do this. Your test, I think your quiz and your test is going to ask you to do something like this. But I tell you what, this is a super, super, super important skill that you need. Okay, to provide some guidance for you, I'm going to include this right here. Here is the first question. Why is Agate Fossil Beds Park unique? Okay, I already found a reason right here, and I've given you some details right here. Okay, that was from just forming fossils. Then you're going to have to go ahead and look at paleontology, find the main reason, okay, that makes Agate Fossil Beds unique, okay? And then you're going to have to find details to support that reason. And then once again, look at here. You're going to go ahead. You're going to state your two reasons up here. You're going to go reason, supporting details. Reason, supporting details. Conclusion. And then you can type your entire paragraph right there. Okay. Here's the second one. Why do fossils need to be carefully excavated? You're going to do the exact same thing. Okay. And then your last one right here, what techniques and tools are used to excavate fossils? And I gave you the exact same format every single time just to keep it simple. Okay, guys, so we're going to stop right there because I think I'm running a little long. So use these forms, practice, practice, practice. That's the only way you're going to get better. All right, until next time, guys, I will see you later.